Janky Rondo. Who is that? I don't know. I'm not even sure I want to talk about this, but we will be talking about that and plenty more on the PHLY Eagles Show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Xfinity Studio and to the PHLY Eagles Show presented by Bet365 and Ashley Furniture. My name is Rich Hofmann. I am here with Jamie Lynch, and for the first segment today, before we have Mina Kimes on and before Jamie and I talk about the Eagles win over Green Bay the other night, we've got our guy, EJ Smith, because guys, unfortunately, I don't really want to talk about this, but it is the biggest topic in Eagles land. This A.J. Brown thing will not stop.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about the Northern Lights that should be visible tonight. No?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, last night it was a little too cloudy, so I'm hoping we can talk about that rather than
A.J. change of topic on that.
Yeah, unfortunately, when A.J. opens his mouth the way he did, it's an unavoidable topic.
I would say so. Yeah. It's been,
we don't have much say in this one.
Well, thank you to Lindsay for putting up the schedule for today's show. The Northern Lights is not on that graphic, but hey, we could make an audible at some point here. I guess EJ, this has sort of been something that happened overnight, and then at Nick Sirianni's press conference earlier today, you were there for that. Why don't you catch everybody up on what?
Yeah. So for those who are not aware of what's the guy's name, Janky Rondo.
I think it's. I said it like 2 minutes ago. I have no idea.
So
per Janky Rondo,
Janky Rondo had it first.
Yeah.
AJ Brown was on a Twitch stream playing Madden with I presume a popular Madden streamer, and had some interesting comments about how he is. You know, the streamer asked him how are things? Is everything good? And AJ basically said, "Where you been? No, things are not good. You know, my family's fine, but everything else." He said it was a bleep show, an S show, and said that he's struggling. So he said some other things too. Said that if you have him in fantasy, you should get rid of him. And then said that in the like his production in Madden is the only joy he's really getting from football right now.
Oh.
So yeah, it was definitely not great to hear. If you're an Eagles fan, if you're someone who's hoping that the AJ Brown thing was kind of behind the team. But honestly, guys, and I'll be curious to hear what you think, like, this to me is just the latest chapter in what has been the constant for AJ Brown all season. He's been frustrated with the way that his role in the offense, the way the offense looks. And after the game against the Packers, where he basically went almost the entire game without a target after getting too early in the game. It doesn't necessarily surprise me that he's vocally frustrated once again.
James, the content wheel just keeps on going.
I saw it first thing when I woke up, and I think I audibly went, "Damn it," because I kind of was with EJ where I thought this was kind of behind us. Like, not that the problem itself was behind us, but the public display. Like, I was just thinking, all right, A.J. Brown's going to kind of just bite the spoon here for the rest of the year. You're a productive team with another chance to win a Super Bowl. He's just going to play the good role. You know, he was blocking downfield. He was doing all the right things on the field of play. So I was like, all right, maybe he's just going to do the right things publicly. So I kind of thought it was behind us a little bit. To wake up and see that, I just went, damn it. This is very much the opposite of what I was hoping for, because not only is it a streaming platform, but it hits social media hard and furious, gets spread everywhere in a short amount of time, and here we are talking about it.
As much as you want to get on Diana Rossini for another anonymous AFC executive saying, "Hey, AJ Brown, yeah, I think some things are wrong there," it's like, who cares about that? AJ Brown is going on public platforms and voicing his displeasure, leaving it in no uncertain terms. I don't think you can blame the media for this one.
No.
Right? Like, no, I don't think you can blame this. Like AJ Brown is putting this out there right now. You know, Howie Roseman has the quote last week after the trade deadline where he basically says, look, you don't trade a guy like that. There's a reason. He is our captain. But then just one game later, AJ Brown is not involved in the offense. And
three targets.
He goes back online. And EJ, I guess that leads us now into Nick Sirianni's press conference today, because Nick Sirianni was asked about not only the final play of the game, the curious non-punt instead of punting the football.
It's just got weirder since Monday night.
A go ball to AJ Brown after not targeting him the entire game. But then he was also asked about AJ Brown not being targeted the entire game.
Yeah, so on that topic, he said, if you look at the game and how the game went, there's lots of plays in that game that are going to him for different reasons that don't. For instance, Devontae Smith's touchdown, that play was going to AJ, and then he pointed to I think also Dallas Goedert's touchdown was one. Okay, yeah, we have the quote here from our friend
BLG.
Yeah. And then later on, Nick Sirianni mentioned that he's about done answering questions about AJ Brown and I guess where AJ Brown is at, like emotionally, and said that when he comes into the building, he's working hard and that, it's business as usual. So I think like I've always believed that the perception of what is when these types of things happen with AJ, I do think the public perception is different than how it's viewed internally. Like, I don't think it has as many ripples through the locker room as
it like this is just AJ being AJ type of thing?
Well, and I wanted to talk to you guys about this because you guys are like, you have a rooting interest in the team in a way that I have to obviously detach myself from.
Big J over here.
Yeah. Not the first time I've been called that.
Yeah. I've been called Big J's too.
Yeah.
Just not journalists.
As a former Big J, I like calling people Big J's now. Go ahead, AJ.
To me, I don't think that AJ's wrong. Now, you might disagree with the message, the method behind what he said.
No, I think he's justified in being upset.
And I think like this has been the theme with AJ this season, is that he is willing to be vocally frustrated and make people uncomfortable when he feels like the offense isn't where it needs to be. And if you look through the last few years when he has been vocal about the offense, he's almost been like justified, or it's almost like it's been like it reinforces what he's doing now, because usually like if he's pushing for the offense to look a certain way, pushing for the offense to be more aggressive, it usually does result in the offense being more aggressive and being more productive as a result. Now, this year, it didn't really work the way that it had in years past. And I talked to him about that probably about a month ago. And that was when he said he's just starting to not care anymore and he feels like he's fighting by himself. And I think these comments kind of are in line with that, where it's like, I think he is starting to just not care about like how his words are going to be perceived, and also really like the effect it might have on the overall product. I think it's also like he is sometimes, it seems like, fighting on his own for the offense to be more aggressive.
I actually was thinking Tim McManus wrote a pretty good article, another good Big J. He wrote a good article in ESPN this week, and it was about something that I think we talk about as fans a lot, Jamie, and it's like, is winning good enough? Because the Eagles continue to win, but it seems like within that locker room, there is a bit of Jalen Hurts turning it into Alabama and maybe even a little bit of Georgia with those guys continuing to win, where it's like winning is great, but what are you playing against the standard, basically? Yeah. And there are positives and negatives to that, right? Because you were always chasing excellence and perfection, but on the other hand, is it healthy to chase excellence and perfection, right? And I thought it's pretty interesting. I don't know exactly what the right answer is, but when I look at AJ Brown and what he has done so far this year, when it's the case when you are chasing perfection and chasing excellence, and you have this specific element of your team, the passing game to AJ Brown in particular, falling woefully short of what the preseason expectations are, then it becomes kind of a weird situation.
Well, I think with him in particular, and EJ, chime in here because you know him a little differently than we do, but I just think back immediately to the comments from after winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I can't get it out of my, like, he was so underwhelmed at this goal, as you say. Like,
I thought that was a good thing at the time.
I did too, but now I don't think he cares. Like, not to say that he doesn't care about winning, but like the fact that he got to the top of the mountaintop and planted a flag and he went, That wasn't as cool as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get that out of my head and
Well,
what
it's
it
all
means
for that.
now.
It's strange because it's what makes him a great player.
Yeah.
Is the need to dominate a game.
Yeah. Which you love. You want a guy that
Right.
wants the ball, that wants the final shot.
Because of that, I understand. Like, listen, I watched the all 22 back of all of Jalen Hurts' dropbacks, and it's frustrating for me to watch. It's like, like Fran and I went back and forth on this, and I was like, oh man, so they were just like shading the coverage to AJ's side every time. And then Fran's like, no, they shaded it to the boundary every time. So the Eagles just never said, oh, well, what if we put AJ on the other side of the field?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can open it up that way.
So is this on Patullo? Is it on Hurts?
I think there's a little bit of everything, because if there were instances where AJ was open, he got wide open on a shallow cross. The Eagles put him in a bunch formation, right? And that's a perfect way, if they're shading the coverage to AJ's side, get creative about how you deploy him. They put him in a bunch. They get him open on a shallow crosser. Jalen doesn't throw him the ball because there's pressure in his face and he's not comfortable making the throw. So, and there were other instances that Fran pointed out yesterday. He did a really good job of breaking down some of the mirrored concepts the Eagles would run.
You should become a diehard. Get all Fran's
Fran's
breakdowns. He's the best.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Some of the mirrored concepts that the Eagles ran in the second half, and there were times where AJ Brown is open on one side of the field. Jalen Hurts is reading the opposite side of the field. The third down incompletion to Jahan Dotson, that wasn't a mirrored concept, but it was one where, again, Fran pointed out, like, it's man to man, and Jalen's reading the side that you probably would read against zone in that instance. So there's execution.
There's equal to blame to go around.
Yeah, there's execution from the quarterback. There's execution from the coaching staff. Again, like, how does it take so long for you to figure out, like, oh, they're not shading at AJ's side, it's just the boundary side. So, yeah, I think that it's a multitude of reasons. It's not so simple to fix, maybe, but it also doesn't have to be that hard with a player like AJ Brown.
I feel like there's also been a couple times this year, like on the Devontae touchdown, and Troy Aikman actually, he broke this down on the broadcast, where AJ Brown is running that in-breaking route, carries the safety a little bit up, Devontae Smith sneaks behind him, touchdown. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's been a few of those plays this year, right?
Sure.
Where
He impacts the game even without the targets. But if you're him, you are frustrated about the fact you see how other receivers, other star receivers on different teams are featured, how the game plan starts with not just taking advantage of their gravity, but getting the ball in their hands because they can make a difference. It's just not happening for the Eagles offense right now. And again, I understand why he's frustrated. I don't necessarily think he's wrong.
And now I think back to the other comment about in training camp, and you can tell me it was probably August, where he said, yeah, I do want to be, I want to put a stamp on it. I want to be considered one of the best wide receivers in the league. So for him to come in with this season, get into the mountaintop, making that statement of like, yeah, I am the best and I'm going to go improve it. And then to be here, like I 100% get why he's frustrated. As a fanalist, I'm going, can you please just shut the bleep up, win another Super Bowl, and the Eagles will take care of you in the offseason.
Yeah.
So like it's getting to the point now where it's like intruding on potentially the success of the team. And that's where it gets frustrating, because I think he's justified, but I'm also like, dude, please, nothing is going to change right now. You have to deal with this for another 2 months. And the ultimate goal is still very achievable because you're one of the best teams in the league. Can you just stop playing this game in public?
So the two things I would say is, like, the reporter who maybe is representing like some of the different sides at play here. First off, I would say that I think AJ's like frustration is in pursuit of the same things that you're in pursuit of. I think he doesn't believe they can get where they need to go without the offense looking the way that he's pushing for it to look.
He's right. The offense stunk on Monday.
Yeah.
Awful.
So I think
Devontae's looked so good the past 3 or 4 weeks. If there is a little bit of a trade-off, it's not to say the passing game is like good or anything right now, but Devontae is like thriving.
It was good the previous 2 weeks.
I think that also like speaks to, because I've heard some people say like, oh, Devontae's the wide receiver one now. AJ needs to like just kind of like accept that.
You have two wide receiver ones.
To me, Devontae is a top 15 ish receiver. Like, you could maybe somebody would argue he's top 10 if you really love what he brings to the game.
Which is
AJ, when he is at
top
his best,
5,
is a top 5, could be the best receiver in football. The ceiling is different. So, like, I don't think it's a good idea to just accept like, oh, this is just Devontae's year, because you need AJ to make an impact. So, and then the second thing I was going to say is that, like, they have navigated AJ being frustrated in the past and won. So to me, this isn't like
thanks to our friend BG last year.
Yeah.
Making some public comments by mistake. I still don't buy that was a mistake.
I don't think it was a mistake either. Yeah.
I think he did that. He's like, you two need to talk. We've tried behind the scenes. Now get together because it's public information.
Yeah. So they can navigate this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EJ, I want the last question I have for you. I do want to touch on that topic because you mentioned something earlier that was pretty interesting to me. Like, I think it's pretty clear. AJ Brown, I think he's right that he needs to get the ball more and that the Eagles offense will function better if he gets the ball more. I think that's very clear at this point. But I also can't defend him going on streams and just lobbing passive aggressive
immature.
barbs. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't think that's as helpful. That said, you mentioned that maybe it's not quite as big of a deal in the locker room as we think it is. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yeah, I just think that there's a big portion of the Eagles locker room that isn't fazed by this at this point. Whether it is, I mean, you can call it what you want, whether it's AJ being AJ or, frankly, a lot of guys agreeing with him and understanding what
That's
he's
what I'm
doing.
Curious about.
I think that there are a lot of guys in that locker room that agree with what he's saying. And like, like all I can say is that, and listen, I'm not sitting here pretending I spend, we spent 45 minutes in there when the Eagles practice. We're not in there a ton. It's not like I have like, but I do feel like I have a good sense of where things are from talking to guys. And it doesn't seem to me that there is like, oh man, what did AJ say? I can't believe he said that. Why would he say that? I think that they understand where he's coming from. And in past examples of when he's done this, I do think that it hasn't had the waves in the locker room like it has, I guess, externally.
If you had to guess, what portion of the locker room agrees with AJ, EJ?
I mean, obviously the wide receiving core, that part of the locker room. I'd say probably more than you think, though. I think that there are more people who understand where AJ's coming from.
So that leads me to the question, how is Jaelan, I don't want to say perceived, because I think he's liked by some or maybe a lot, but is he on an island in a way, in that like he's like, this is the way, this is I lead, this is how I'm going to do, my head's down, I'm not, like, because we saw it with Wentz and Foles, not to make, but like,
yeah, but there's
the
like
locker room splits with people is my point.
Yeah,
and like, do you see it being like him on an island versus the majority? Does he have a select few with him? Like, how does to an outsider, how does that break down?
I think it's fair to like say that there's like a certain, I don't want to say detached in like a a negative like irreparable way, but just like the nature of being the franchise quarterback, you aren't one of the guys as much as somebody like AJ Brown would be. But I do think that. I think Jaelan has made strides in those areas. I think he's gotten better at being part of the group and more open is what you'll hear from guys in the locker room. But I do think like it's not necessarily like a divide. It's more about like, because I don't think what AJ hasn't really come out and done is just say it's the quarterback, right? That would be the type of thing that would divide a locker room.
He has called him the quarterback before.
He has called him the quarterback, and he has said passing before.
You're right, though.
But I think that in general, like because of that, you can still have respect for both guys and agree with what AJ's saying.
Yeah, I think honestly, I'm viewing it through just following the Eagles for 30 years or whatever it's been. Like
why can't things just be normal?
Well, no. I mean the T.O. McNabb.
Sure.
That feud split up the locker room. It does seem like, as EJ pointed out, that the locker room dynamics here are different, right? Yeah. It's just it feels like a lot of guys sort of have their head down and are I don't want to say even just doing their own thing, but at least not letting this become like a major distraction. But it's very interesting, kind of the locker room dynamics here, because you clearly have something that has torn teams apart before, and they just I know they do it in a weird way, but they just continue to win. So,
and this is going back, 380 plus days, like this isn't a new problem that just arose this season. There's clearly something bigger happening between those two, whether it's as simple as, hey, you're missing me when I'm open here and you're causing me to be considered the best wide receiver in the league or whatever. But this sucks because it's not going away. It's not going to, like, we're past the point of it getting repaired.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of if they can navigate it, and they have been able to in the past. They've done it so far this season.
But I also think ahead to the offseason, and I'm like, well, AJ's gone.
Yeah, I think it's a real conversation this offseason.
As CDP points out, this season is on Hard Knocks. I gotta imagine
when is
the Eagles
start.
The Eagles have final.
Started,
They have final cut on that, right?
Yeah, I doubt. It's probably not going to see. It's not going to be as good as you.
Yeah, Lori said none of that's hitting the editing floor. You can just zap that right now.
Yeah,
a fictionalized.
When does that start?
A fictionalized version of the 2020.
Because I do like the in-season Hard Knocks more than the training camp Hard Knocks.
That's fair. Yeah,
I like the off-season Hard Knocks more, of course, because it was the Joe Shane disaster class.
He ruined that for the whole league.
I think we have a couple more weeks before it starts. I think it's sometime in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we do need to get to a break. EJ, thank you for informing us on as AJ turns.
As the world turns.
The AJ
Yes.
Brown of it all, as we say so often on the show.
So, guys, we're not going to be all negative because, again, the Eagles just did win a game. It was a little weird, but it was their fourth, I would say, really impressive win.
Defense.
When you look at their resume, we're going to talk about their defense a little bit. EJ, I believe you and Bo talked to Mina Kimes.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna play that interview after the break, and then afterwards, Jamie and I are gonna talk about Jaelan Phillips, the Detroit Lions. But after we hear from a few of our friends, we are gonna play the interview with EJ, Bo, and Mina Kimes. And guys, holiday steals are here at Ashley. It is the perfect time to get your home ready for the season and save big, from stunning dining sets for all your holiday feasts to super cozy sectionals perfect for movie nights. We have everything to make this season magical. You need to get ahead of this because it is cozy season. You're going to be having people over for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and Ashley is the place to shop.
And let me tell you why it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. There's over 90 million users worldwide. That many people just can't be wrong about a product. They stream the most events on sports betting platforms, over 780,000 events every single year. And they have the best early payout offers across the NBA, NHL, MLB when that's in season, and every Thursday, Monday, Sunday, they got a special for you in the NFL. There's so much good stuff happening. Same game parlays, early payout offers in college football and the NFL, NBA tip-off Tuesdays. Just go in there and explore the promos. And breaking news from Bet365, new customers can get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use that code PHLY365, deposit $10, place a $5 bet, and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus and physically located in PA. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And guys, did you forget that it's cozy season? Because it is cozy season. The more you shop, the more you save, with up to 25% store-wide at Ashley. Or you can take advantage of their special financing with 5 years, no interest. Discover great deals in-store and online. It is cozy season only at Ashley.
I think open book is the right way to phrase it. I think sometimes there are things left to interpretation, but this has been going on all season. Really.
Welcome back to the PHLY Eagles podcast, joined, as we are every other Wednesday, by the great Mina Kimes of ESPN and the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, in which you talked a lot about the Eagles this week. Mina, you were there in Green Bay. What were your big takeaways from that slugfest on Monday night?
Just a barn burner of a game. We were talking a little bit before about who should be angrier. Clearly Packers fans, not just because of the loss, but, I also think with the Eagles, while offensively it was obviously frustrating, and we can get into that, you got to be encouraged by what you saw from the defense, right? Like, that to me felt like the biggest takeaway from the game. Oh, cool. The Eagles have a 4-man rush. But Jaelan Phillips looks awesome. Nolan Smith back in the fold. But it seems like the defensive improvement is being overshadowed by the constant anxiety over the offense, shall we say. So I don't know if many Eagles fans are celebrating the win like they should.
Well, it's Philadelphia, so we always have drama. But let's save the drama. Let's talk about the defense first, because it really did. It looked like a completely different front in this game, which makes sense. I mean, they added 3 guys to the top of the rotation. You have like Josh Uche, who was their second best pass rusher 2 weeks ago, and he can't even get on the field because you've got Jaelan Phillips, Nolan Smith, and even Brandon Graham in the mix now. What looked different to you with Jaelan Phillips added to that group, playing as well as he did?
Well, I thought he was really complete. We talked about the pass rush, which is kind of the story in a lot of ways, but I was really impressed by his run defense, obviously on the final play. But even before that, it felt like he was constantly in the backfield making tackles. I think that's a big part of why the Eagles traded for him, right? Is because they viewed him as a complete edge. But as far as the pass rush goes, I think, on all of the impact plays, he was being chipped or doubled, or so you saw other players taking advantage of the one-on-ones, Jalix Hunts early on, Nolan Smith coming through on the blitz. So yeah, it just gives them, up till this point, it felt like Jalen Carter, who was obviously excellent in this game, was the only player being given extra attention. And as a result, it didn't feel like anyone was able to take advantage of those opportunities. But now finally you have another player that the offensive, line really has to worry about, that at times they were giving an extra tight end or a back. So that to me is really helpful. And Nolan Smith looked good too. So yeah, it just makes things so much easier for this defense to have an edge rusher like that in the mix, and for Vic Fangio, and it looked like a perfect fit.
It's only a matter of time before Moro Ajomo starts to get some of those slides, some of that attention. But I digress. Mina,
You have only one objective
boy?
on the show, and it is to pump up.
This is an agenda.
He had the on the mic moment though. That was him,
Yes.
right? Who was yelling
the inside zone
so.
call out. Yeah, he's a smart player, impactful player.
I do think though, just on the 4-man rush, like we have seen it, because they could not affect the quarterback with just 4 guys the first half of the season, and so Vic had to do so much designing to create pressure that now it's kind of like that may serve them in the second half of the season, because you can rely on the 4-man rush, it seems like, but you also now have these new tricks up your sleeve, and so it can really be kind of a guessing game for the opposing quarterback.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you, sticking with the front seven here, with Nakobe Dean playing at such a high level, it's been a surprise to us. Like, obviously, it's really always a dice roll, guys coming back from that injury, but it kind of leaves the Eagles with the proverbial good problem to have, with him and Jahad Campbell rotating every 2 series, it seems like, in the nickel defense. I'm curious if you think there's a way for the Eagles to get all 3 of those guys on the field, because I think Nakobe, he's playing at a high enough level. Obviously, he's a free agent this offseason. I almost wonder if he's playing at a high enough level where the Eagles aren't going to want to lose him. But again, because they have Jahad Campbell and Zach Bond, it's a little bit harder to figure out the math on how they could accommodate all 3 of them on the field.
I think it's a matchup issue, because most teams don't have even 2 quality linebackers, to be honest. And there's a real trend around the NFL right now where a lot of the really good offenses are just killing teams in base defense, right? They're putting multiple tight ends on the field. The Rams Seahawks is kind of like the Super Bowl of this trend, right? Because those teams are just annihilating teams by forcing them to put an extra linebacker on the field. So if you're Philadelphia and you actually have linebackers who can cover, I view it as not just a bonus, but actually could be really important and against a team like Detroit in particular, by the way, that also loves to put bigger bodies on the field. So, the contract is a problem for another day, but for right now, that ability to actually cover in base defense and have really good players who can play off the ball is really rare in the NFL at the moment.
Well, let's zero in then on that side of this matchup on Sunday, and what do you think the Lions will try to do to Vic Fangio's defense?
It's funny because actually, I mentioned that, but they actually haven't been using that much 12 personnel. I was just looking this up. I was working on the matchups for this. The Lions, I think, will actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they play a decent amount of 11 in this game. It's way I would against.
For the reasons you said, yeah, I mean, that's where the Eagles are weakest depth-wise.
You want to get
in the secondary, so you might as well get
Yes.
those guys on the field, right?
You want the third corner in the field. Honestly, I was befuddled that Green Bay didn't attack him, and I think I posted this at some point during the game because I was just whining about the Green Bay offense the whole time. But at one point, Quinion Mitchell had 7 targets to Jackson's 2 or something, which is
crazy,
absolutely insane. Yeah, right. As an Eagles fan, the whole game you're like, just don't find the guy who's not Mitchell or DeJean. And then when they don't, you're like, what's going on? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
and
Keep
it's
throwing
not
at
in
our best
service
corner.
of them having a star receiver who we got to get him the ball even if he's
Right.
covered by Quinion. It was it's okay, let's get Christian Watson the ball, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, right. But I think Philadelphia or Detroit, pardon me, is absolutely going to put multiple receivers on the field and find a way to attack Jackson. That's what I would do. So for Philly, I think a lot of this comes down to pressure and the way you get pressure. We saw Jared Goff really struggle with the Vikings when they sent interior pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if Vic borrows from that to some degree. And, I think the Eagles' run defense has looked a lot better too as of late. That's really important, obviously, in this one. So it'll definitely be an interesting matchup.
You mentioned the use of 11 that Detroit has been having more recently. Is that you think it's a function of Dan Campbell being a part of or being in charge of play calling now? And also, I guess I know it was only one game against not a great defense, but what are some of the trends you're seeing from Dan Campbell now that he's kind of running the show there?
Yeah, I used a lot of 11, a lot of motion. It's really hard to know what to take away from Commanders games,
Yeah.
guys. I mean, the defense is so. By the way, love Dan Campbell taking over play calling against the Commanders. He was like,
That is
look at
very
the schedule, he's
savvy.
like,
That is very savvy. Yes.
you know what? Give me that. I love Dan Campbell. Yeah, I think it's, again, hard to know because they're so easy to attack in a number of ways, but I do think it is also the right way to play Philadelphia for the reasons that we've been discussing. Play action concerns me. You know, that's something that we've seen the Eagles defense struggle with at times a little bit this year. It's definitely something that obviously Detroit measures in as well. So they're going to kind of spread to run, try to play action them, you know, counting on the Eagles to play with their customary lighter boxes. So I keep going back to the pressure. I think that's just going to be so important in this one. Early downs. Can you get to Jared Goff when they run play action? Can you actually, you know, play the quarterback in those scenarios? I'll be interested in seeing if Vic breaks some of his blitzing tendencies because I think there's a lot to learn from the Vikings game.
All right, we've been nice long enough. Let's talk about the Eagles offense now. What's your big picture, state of affairs here? Because 2 weeks ago, and what wasn't against the best defense, but it seemed like they were pulling all the right buttons against the Giants. Now, no AJ Brown in that game. AJ comes back, and all of a sudden, we're back to doing 1 a.m. Twitch stream comments and having lots of drama.
To be fair, defense plays too, and the Packers defense is much better than the Giants defense. So I think that, and I thought they played really well in this game, especially like the spine of the defense. I was really impressed by the DTs and backers and safeties against the run. So I just want to acknowledge that, Dominique and I joked, we for Eagles fans, we discussed this game at length on our Tuesday pod, which you can check out, Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny. And there's like a category of game I like to call great defense or shitty offense. And this was one of those. And I do think a lot of it was about the defense. But of course, you've had the ups and downs with the Eagles offense, so it bears consideration. The AJ stuff's tough because, like, when you go back and watch the game, all of the big plays happened because of the attention paid to AJ Brown, right?
Yeah.
Like the play to Devontae, the play to Goddard. I guess all the big plays, like 3.
Right.
But, so he impacts the game in ways that just do not show up in the box score at all. But, that said, obviously you can't be happy with a game where the offense puts up that little production overall. So I can't look at it and say, actually, it's a good thing,
It's a good EJ impression.
I'll be very interested in seeing if we talked about some of the Eagles' defensive tendency breakers. I'll be interested in seeing if the Lions break tendency and play less man coverage. If they play as much man coverage as they usually do, this should be an AJ Brown game.
Right.
But I think Kelvin Shepard is like one of the bright young defensive coordinators in the league. I'm not alone. Obviously, that's a pretty common take. And I wouldn't be surprised if he mixes it up a little bit given the opponent. So the Eagles, I think, can't come out here and just expect the Lions to blitz and play man. They have to be prepared for them to show them some different things on offense. And yeah, they've got to, I mean, so often as it does with the Eagles, it comes down to if a team plays more split safety and you get more of those zone blitzes, what are your answers? And they've found them at points during the season, but obviously at other times they've been stymied by that.
How is the Lions' run defense?
Good. I think it's good.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Here we go, Jaelan.
I just think they've been really good. The Lions, by the way, love to play base personnel. So I think that would be an interesting one, too, with the Eagles go to the 6 offensive line stuff. I think they'll probably counter that with base, and there'll be an ability to play action off of that.
So what would you do, Mina? Because,
I'll do that.
Yeah, because it seems to me like, I thought maybe the Packers game, like a zone heavy team, a team that majors in that. Maybe this was like a styles makes fights type of situation for the Eagles offense. But I do think, you hear a lot about unscouted looks from the Eagles coaching staff and how much of a challenge that is. But I do sort of think we're at a point now where they're going to keep seeing the looks that they got against the Packers and really they've been seeing these all season, those zone looks, a lot of the sim pressure stuff. So what do you think is the answer against those specific looks? Do you think it is as simple as like the play action game and the under center jumbo packages off of it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of that. It's RPOs against those looks can be effective. Dallas Goedert can be effective in particular. That's kind of historically been a good answer for the Eagles when they face that sort of cloud coverage. You got to be able to run on them, right? And again, the Lions' run defense is quite good, but I think it was a little bit disappointing that they weren't able to run better on the Packers, obviously, after watching what Carolina did. But I do think watching it back, the Packers' run defense was just excellent in that game. But yeah, it's I think that just what's so key for this one is you got to be prepared for that. I really think the Lions are going to break tendency against this team. So just coming in with a plan for that, I've been harping the same thing with AJ Brown, but you want to see him used on slants. You want to see him on in breakers in the way that they haven't been using him and consistently. And I think there'll be opportunities in the passing game against this team. There's flaws on the back end for Detroit for sure.
I'm excited for this game because it feels like kind of a year and a half coming. Like this, we all expected this to be the NFC Championship game last year. It felt like it was pointing in that direction, and now we actually get it. Are you of the opinion that the best team in the NFC is on the West Coast? Are you going West Coast bias here, or do you think this could be an NFC Championship preview?
This is so funny because both of these games are happening. The Rams Seahawks game. Yeah. I have the Rams and the Seahawks above right now, just because of the offense. And I think the Seahawks defense is maybe the best in the NFL. But the Eagles defense,
and they don't necessarily seem to hate each other.
That helps as well. The Eagles defense, though, I think taking the leap on Monday was a big deal. I
agree with that.
I think what they should, and I think that was my big takeaway from the game. I was like, the Eagles offense week to week, who knows? But the defense quietly, amidst all the attention paid to the offense nationally, I think we kind of let the lack of a 4-man rush slide, and there were a lot of games where even the Giants game, I'm just like, oh man, come on, and to see that come alive is really important.
Yeah, CJ, they were not a good defense the first half of the season.
Oh,
they were fine.
No. Really quick, Mina, we need a temperature check from the in-laws. I feel like we should make this a bi-weekly thing here. Who do you think the temperature is hottest on in the in-laws' house? Is it Nick Sirianni? Is it AJ Brown?
I want to know their AJ take.
Okay. Well, maybe AJ is the hottest temperature, but
Here's all the texts my mother-in-law sent me during the game. Yuck. Looking tough tonight. Yeah. This game's a fight. Lane is back. 20 eagle emoji. Lucky. That's all I can say. Oh, this is after the 4th down.
Okay.
What a dumb call. What the hell was he thinking?
Well,
so I think the answer is Sirianni.
Yeah, so the Sirianni temperature.
Yeah. That's good, although I don't think that was Nick on the 4th down call. But.
It depends on what part you're talking about. The play call itself? Or the decision to go for it.
He looked mad. Dominic and I talked about this, and we were like, I think he was mad about the play call, not the... So was that him? Not
it's very similar to what happened actually in Seattle a couple years ago in 2023, where Nick had to cover for Jaelan, and then it came out afterwards that people didn't love that Jaelan never fessed up to it. I mean, it's a very similar situation. I think it's pretty clear that was not certainly not what Nick expected to happen on that play.
He's a good manager of people. I think that gets sometimes lost in all the Sirianni hate is you can point to a lot of moments in this era where he has covered for other things. And also kind of Tomlin gets all the credit for all the insanity in the locker room. Could Sirianni also be that
That's
dude?
A good point.
I feel like
I think that's true, but at the same time, if that is his superpower, why does the AJ thing continue to persist?
They have a lot of characters. I think that's fair.
I mean, perhaps the AJ thing is worse than we know, and he is managing it, right?
Yeah.
He's a receiver. I read, I sat next to the Eagles reporter Brooks Kubina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the plane to Green Bay. And then we were talking about it. And afterwards, I read his story, which was excellent, by the way, on A.J. Brown. And I came out
Shout out
of it
to Brooks.
thinking, like, this must be like worse than we think.
Yeah. Well, you should.
I
Well, you
don't
should.
know.
I don't want to go competing beats here, but you should also read EJ's story on EJ.
Oh, okay.
Well, AJ is an
gotta
open
find
book,
it.
right? And so
Yeah.
I'll let you. I mean, you say what AJ said to you.
Yeah, this
Literally
was probably about a month ago. He said that he's starting not to care and that he feels like he's fighting by himself. So, yeah, AJ, like you, I think open book is the right way to phrase it. I think sometimes there are things left to interpretation, but this has been going on all season. Really, it's been going on for years, but this season in particular, there's been a lot there with AJ.
Wide receivers never beating the allegations, I fear.
Yeah, exactly. He loves that. All right, Mina Kimes, thank you so much. We will talk to you in a couple weeks. Enjoy Eagles Lions on Sunday, and shout out to the in-laws.
Shout out to the in-laws. And you know what? Shout out to Crooked Tea as well, because everybody's got their favorite hard tea. But have you turned the can around to read what's in it? You can't, because they don't tell you. And while they hide what's inside, Crooked Tea brags about it. Crooked Tea brews real USDA organic tea for real flavor with zero sugar. No fake junk hiding behind the label. What you see is what you drink. So next time you're at the store, flip the can, and if you can't find the ingredients, just put it back on the shelf. Then grab a Crooked Tea, zero sugar, real tea, and fully transparent. You know it, Philly. Real recognizes real, so why drink the fake stuff? Crooked Tea, the only thing better is a strip sack in the Super Bowl. Visit crookedtea.com to find a store near you.
The other day, my friend Jared invited me over to the Goff household, and he said, we got to watch some football. Cal's playing, big games are on. His setup, a total disaster. He had these little doll hands, and he was fumbling all over the remote. He was lagging, jumping between apps. He claimed to be a big fan. I don't think this guy knows ball. So if you call yourself a football fan, you got to get Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best games, your favorite teams, and the way to watch is just next level. It's all right there for you. It's the perfect fan flex. You got all the action in your living room. Plus, you get the live stat updates, the sports seat button. It's all great. Sometimes you can get 4 games going at once, because why not? On top of that, you get real-time notifications, those live stats. You can follow your fantasy guys right there on your TV while you're watching the game. It's the best seat in the house every time. So next game day, make sure that big fan, Jared, isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
And welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Show, presented by Bet365 and Ashley. Jamie, I think we're bearing the lead a little bit here, but I think we can probably make this the big deal, even though probably the bigger deal was the A.J. Brown drama, presented by Cherry Hill Mitsubishi. The Jaire Alexander. He retired.
I wish him the best. I think it's clear something's going on, whether personally, physically, whatever. I'm sure it's a hard pill to swallow, being one of the best in the world at your job, and injuries derail your career at such a young age, to the point where, look, I wasn't counting on him to provide the Eagles with much this year. He couldn't crack a Baltimore defense that needed help wherever it could get it. So clearly he's not who he used to be, and I'm sure mentally that's a strain on you. So good for him for, stepping away and trying to get himself right. I wish him the best, but I think something's up there,
Is 2 in-season retirements a record?
I've been thinking
for a
about
team?
that.
They got to be getting close.
It's got to be. It's got to tie at least. I can't imagine anybody has 3, right? Darius and Jaire, just 2 very good former players, just gone. Poof. It's bizarre.
We were talking about the Eagles locker room dynamic in the first segment, and how this A.J. Brown stuff, EJ was talking about how, I don't really think it affects this whole locker room as much as it seems like it would, but it's just so funny. You got guys, it's not funny because Jaire Alexander, like, he's clearly struggling with either confidence or mental health or whatever. And I hope he gets back, to playing on the field, or just
I always liked
Finds-
watching him play, so I hope he gets back.
find some peace. But yeah, there's just so much stuff going on.
So
when you
Vinny's-
look at the entire locker room.
Vinny has always told us on Sundays when we watch the game together, he's like, man, this locker room's not for everyone. He says, and he knows, he saw the Jets, he saw the Bucks firsthand, that it's just different here. And whether it be an accountability, the leadership issue, like, I think it's a more tightly run locker room than maybe some others. So I think when some outsiders come in and experience it for the first time, Vinny said, like, it's just not for everybody. Some people just don't jive with the way things are done here. And if you can't jive with the gold standard of the NFL right now, see you later,
Khalif says that he thinks a big piece is that the old heads are not down for Vic's style of practice. It could be that as well. Again, there's a lot of stuff going on with this. Now, as far
That's a good point.
as far as Jaire, and I'm very proud that I haven't said Zaire yet because
I've been poisoning Rich's brain a little
Zaire
behind the
Smith
screen.
in my head
Zaire Smith.
the entire
We're
time.
gonna create Obama in
Jamie's
Brett Bound voice.
Brett Bound voice, which is probably how Brett Brown would say Brett
Zaire.
Brown. Look, I didn't really feel all that hopeful about that.
No, I
acquisition.
didn't think he was going to contribute at
To
all.
me, Michael Carter was clearly of the two dart throws in the secondary. To me, that was the one that I thought might actually pay off down the line. We'll see. We didn't see a lot of him the other night. I mean, I get it. Jaire used to be an awesome player. I get that he was born in Philly and left, and I know Christian Parker and him have a pretty good relationship, but he wasn't getting on the field for a terrible defense in Baltimore. I guess the other question I have for this, Jamie, before we wrap this up, to the Eagles, are they going to get their pick back? Like this pick swap?
I think he probably not. Like, it's kind of from the just logistical aspect. Eagles got screwed here. Like, I wish him nothing but the best. I'm happy he's taking care of what he's got to take care of. But yeah, the Eagles kind of just lost a round pick for absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It should be rescinded in some way, like
Well,
a retirement clause or something, right?
Somebody pointed out to me that when the Eagles got a 7th round pick for John Dorenbos, and then he went to the Saints.
Yes, and they discovered the heart.
They discovered the heart issue, which probably saved John Dorenbos'
that
life.
did revert.
They gave it back.
Yeah, I would think.
Eric DaCosta, do the right thing.
Yeah.
Give the pick back. Now, in fairness, am I actually going to care about this
No.
that much? No. A 6th and 7th round pick are basically.
But you're right.
same
It
thing.
probably should just be like
But yeah, I mean, they didn't even.
annulled.
Like, he didn't even get on the plane for the Green Bay game. So I don't know. That's a weird thing. So Jaire Alexander, we wish you the best. Thank you for the content, at least with the emergency podcast.
Yeah,
With the,
he's up there with Frank Gore and Eagles lore of never going to see him.
yeah. Well, you know what we are going to see? The Eagles defense dominating down the stretch. Man, what a great. I get it.
That was a lot of fun.
The offense was really frustrating. I am geeked to watch these guys play defense over the next few weeks, man. That feels like Vic. I don't know, like Vic after a bye week, I just picture him crunching tape with this Phillies hoodie and just in some dark room.
Do you think he wants Nolan Arenado, or you think he's over that one?
He
too?
probably does,
Yeah.
but which he'd be wrong if that was the case. But
Nolan Arenado stinks. Vic, don't do it.
he's just watching tape with this Phillies hoodie, and then he gets some sort of
You think he's like
eureka-
a sunflower seed guy? Like,
probably, yeah.
What do you think he's watching tape like noshing? Because I feel like every football guy noshes on a little something when they're watching tape.
Just like last year, though, I think Vic found a eureka moment in the middle of the week, and he just was like, "Oh, I got it." And then, maybe he goes home, finally gets a decent night of sleep, and then he goes back to work the next day, and he's like, "Let me start coordinating the best defense in the league." And look, I think we mentioned all season last year that Cooper DeJean starting to play was a huge deal after the bye.
Jaelan Phillips.
Jaelan Phillips as
Yeah.
a new toy, man, that was an excellent start. 53 of the 68 snaps. I know pressures aren't real, but I think he had 6 tackles, 4 solo tackles, and 1 tackle for loss, the big one on that 4th down play at the end.
Do you buy the Bo Wolf stance of pressures aren't real?
A little bit, yeah, because they're subjective, right?
Yeah, it's totally subjective, but I think it's real. It's just who's grading it.
Yeah, but I don't like that. I mean,
But if you rush a quarterback's throw because you're getting a pressure, like you affected the play.
look, with all things pro football focus, if it's good, I'm going to cite it. And if it fits my agenda,
Fair.
I'm going to cite it. So we're going to cite pressures today, but the general idea of like, pressures and somebody grading it. I don't know. I like it when you hit.
It's like errors in baseball. You have to trust who's grading it, right?
Well, I don't trust those either. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's a thing.
Okay, but Jaelan Phillips,
defense.
Jaelan Phillips in particular, though.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like we were watching an entirely new defense. You got added BG, who, by the way, looked good. His timing was there. He was getting off the ball well. He was still bull rushing guys. Jaelan Phillips, obviously, his impact was huge in the game. And then you got Nolan Smith back, who also looked quick and violent. So you added basically an entirely new defensive line, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Nakobe Dean is like better than I ever expected to be. The fact that you got to do, I think, 32 snaps with him and 30 with Jihad and kind of balance that with Zach Bond as the other, and then Cooper DeJean and Quinyon. Like, this defense has the potential to be special now. I don't think that's an over-exaggeration. Jaelan Phillips is better than I thought he was going to be right away, because they talked about earlier in the week, like, oh yeah, we're gonna ease him in a little bit, give him like a snap count. Dude played like 48 of 52 snaps. Like, Vic saw it and was like, I can't take this guy off the field right now.
I think with that one game, he is already Howie's second best trade deadline acquisition. Just one game. That's all. That's all you need.
Jay Ajayi.
Golden Tate, move on over. that one catch in Chicago, even though that was a bad trade overall, you are the bronze medalist now. Yeah, and I think the two guys that really stood out to me were Jaelan Phillips and Nakobe Dean. Jaelan Phillips, yeah, I mean, playing that many snaps, just throwing him right in.
I mean, that's I can't take you off the field right now snap count.
Well, and Jamie, as Fran was doing the cut-ups and kind of showing us what type of
guys.
player, when he was doing guys, and showing us what Jaelan Phillips was like as a player, the thing that impressed me the most, like, his hands are really violent, and it's like he uses them to jab other offensive linemen so they can't get his hands on them. And Zach Tom, the right tackle, I would say Jaelan Phillips, we talk about, pressures mattering and do they matter or not. I'm sure Jaelan Phillips probably got a pressure on the Jalix Hunt snap because he used his violent hands and he got into the pocket. Jordan Love has to retreat, and then Jalix Hunt ends up cleaning up that play. It's just an awesome play. So I was very impressed by him. And then you mentioned Nakobe, man.
He's on another level right now.
And again, it's such a weird situation because Jihad Campbell, who
was potentially in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
I don't know how I feel about this, because you have a rookie that you spent a first-round pick on who is playing well, and you're saying, you're going to play a little bit less. I don't love Jihad Campbell as an edge player, by the way. I think he's definitely worse at that. He had a really bad snap in run defense on the edge. But Nakobe's playing amazing, and I love Nakobe. So, like, I think Vic earned the benefit of the doubt. Like, Nakobe, the forced fumble on Jordan Love, great pressure by Vic, gets three guys to the left side of the line. So he basically isolates Nakobe Dean against Josh Jacobs. We knew from last year, Nakobe, one of his best skills is as a blitzer. He lit Josh Jacobs up on that play. Like, just threw him. Oh my God. It was just an awesome play. And then he finishes with a funny Jordan Love fumble as well.
Yeah. Fran said he's just diagnosing. I outsource all my football guy knowledge to Fran Duffy. And you seriously, if you aren't a diehard, you should become one, because Fran's breakdowns alone are incredible and worth it. He said he's assessing plays faster than anyone on the field. And that includes Moro Ojomo, who we're going to get into, I think, on the other side. Like, what is happening right now with the defense is kind of crazy, because we talked about the three new guys adding, but what Ojomo, and I go back and forth between Ojomo, me and Lindsay were talking about this on Sunday, like Ojomo and Ojomo, whatever. What the step he's taking and the step that Jalix Hunt are both taking simultaneously is probably more than I expected from both. And it's got to the point where, like, the tingles are in the football guy, like you're starting to get, like, the spidey senses are going, like, oh wait, these guys can be like special, not just like good special. What you're seeing from Jalix Hunt and Ojomo right now is like potential like Pro Bowl type players, because Jalix Hunt, like, I didn't expect anything from in the first year, and then he was maybe one of the best defensive players in the Super Bowl. And now he's building off of that. And Ojomo in the locker room, I remember Bo did a short in August where he pulled the locker room and everybody was like, no, Moro's the guy that's going to like bust through in a big way this year. So what those two are giving you, plus the three new guys, plus, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, this defensive line seriously has the potential to be one of the best in football now all of a sudden, which is a wild thing to say considering where we were like 3 weeks ago.
Morrow also almost killed the ref with his pumping his fist. Or sorry, that was Jailix actually. My bad.
Was it?
After his
Yeah.
It was Jailix after a sack. Luckily that didn't happen because that
What are you doing there?
that umpire would not be working. He might
You
not.
can't
be alive.
enforce like a fine on him, right?
Oh no, he
It's
didn't.
purely accidental.
He didn't see the guy, but
Yeah,
I
but
wonder-
that could have been ugly.
Yeah, but you mentioned that the play that Morrow made to say inside zone right here, inside zone.
And if you're
right
Jordan
here,
Love,
and then by the way, he says that, and then he splits the double team, gets into the backfield, and Josh Jacobs has to go the other way. And then you get Jalen Carter, as Fran said, just bench pressing the right guard back there.
He looked good.
Okay, I can't go into that hole. Yeah, Jalen Carter also one of his better games. I thought he was double teamed. I felt like a lot in that game, but he got his hands up and batted down a few passes as well. And then Jaelan Phillips comes at the end against the tight end. Tight end can't block him. Him and Reed come to finish.
So if
that
you're
play.
Jordan Love right there, Ajomo was calling that out with plenty of time to audible.
Yeah, it's not good.
What are you doing?
That's not good.
It's part of the reason why he's mid. Like, dude, what are you doing? You have a defensive tackle calling out your play 3 or 4 seconds before you snap the ball. Maybe get out of it.
Yeah. Okay. Jay,
Dumb.
we do have to hear from a few more of our friends, but on the other side, we will talk about the upcoming matchup against the Detroit Lions. And guys, here's a fact that shocked me. Mitsubishi Motors is #1 in customer satisfaction with dealer services among mainstream brands and SUV owners. And that's not me saying it either. That's JD Power. So if you're looking for the most affordable 7-passenger SUV in America, CherryHillMitsubishi.com has you covered with the 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander. Take advantage of their year-end sales event with 0% for 60 months APR financing on the entire 2025 Mitsubishi lineup for PA residents only. Offer not valid with trade-in. Offer subject to credit approval by a third party, and not all applicants may qualify. Combine that with the best warranty in the automotive business, 10 years for a 100,000-mile powertrain, 2 years of included limited maintenance, and 5 years of roadside assistance. Terms and conditions apply. Why settle for a lesser warranty and be on the hook for costly repairs down the road? So stop in today and tell them that PHLY sent you and receive a $100 restaurant.com gift card just for taking a test drive or completing a trade appraisal. I know people buy Mitsubishis elsewhere. I just don't know why. Drive home in your new Mitsubishi today, just minutes from all bridges, or available 24/7 at cherryhillmitsubishi.com.
And I love the Parks Casino. And one of the things I love most about the Parks Casino is the Bet Parks app. All the games you love to play from the casino floor right there in the palm of your hand, like pop culture slots, roulette. I'm a roulette man personally. Cards, dice games I don't play on the floor, but in the comfort of my own home with my phone in my hand, yeah, I'll throw a little dice. And you can do all of that with the Bet Parks app. Parks Online Casino has the games you love, whether you're at home or on the go. So download the Bet Parks app, create an account today, and receive an offer you can't pass up. New users are eligible to receive $1,000 cash back if you're down in the first 24 hours, not cash, but credits. And signing up on the Bet Parks Online Casino is available in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, and Michigan for their residents. Terms and conditions apply. Parks Casino. This is how you win. You must be 21 and over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome back to the PHLY Eagles Show.
By the way, Darlene Harris Lopez says Josh Jacobs made a comment that there was no time to change the play, and they might have been out of timeouts to the point. So just basic point is Jordan Love sucks. Moro Ojomo's great. Great job by him.
It does provide a contrast between the level of coaching that we're seeing on the Eagles offense versus the Eagles defense when Morrow is calling out the play on the biggest play of the game.
And BG talked about it. And by the way, new Unblocked with Brandon Graham episode tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. You're going to want to hear this because BG came right off of the plane into the podcast studio with Bo. He raves about Ojomo and says that's all tape study. He said that. He basically says that guy puts in the work and you saw it firsthand right there. So that's awesome to hear and see.
And we will talk more about the Packers' predictable offense and the Lions' less predictable offense in overtime.
But maybe Cousin Grace is right. Josh Jacobs just covering for their terrible quarterback. I love being a Jordan Love hater.
You and Daniz, you were the number 1 and number 2.
I love that I'm with the prof in that company.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's fine. At best, he's fine.
Here, my thing with Jordan Love is that when he is good, he makes it look really good. He's throwing
infrequently very good.
Completely agree, and that's why the football hipsters. I can't see
I don't know
him
why he
ranked.
gets so much love.
Maybe it's because his last name is Love, but he gets ranked above Jalen Hurts pretty consistently, and it's just like at some point, I don't know, man. You were gifted the worst Eagles game by success rate in like 4 years at home, and you couldn't win that game.
Yeah.
I know Tucker Kraft was out, but Lane Johnson was out for the Eagles the entire game.
By the way, what a psychopath Lane Johnson is.
Well, especially
in the best kind of way.
I mean, especially returning to that game after sitting for 2 hours, like
in the cold.
Because you always see those cases in really every single sport of guys just having the adrenaline to gut through the initial injury. And then when they go home, it's like, ooh, this guy's out for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. So for him to just be like, hey, look, I know these looks with 6 offensive linemen have been killing it. Let me get back in the game. Yeah. Big play in the fourth quarter.
By the way, did you think, because I thought when I first saw the replay, I was like, oh, that's a season ender. I thought it was his knee bending sideways in.
Once I heard ankle, I thought.
Once I heard ankle, I was like, whew. Because I thought it was season over, like season altering injury right there.
Yeah, I was cursing at my television like Evan Williams, like, how do you miss a tackle by that much? People will be like, he didn't mean to do it. I was like, can you not miss a tackle by that much? Like, good God. Yeah.
And
so
by the way,
Evan Williams got mossed by Devontae Smith at the end of that game. So
that was pretty great. The other, before we move on to the Lions talk, the other egregious thing, the Micah Parsons tripping.
Yeah, it was bad.
How do you miss that?
It was bad.
Really, really bad.
Yeah.
Because that could have been a home run play for the Eagles.
Yeah, I have no thoughts on that except you're right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just happy the Eagles got away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge win. And the NFC North dominance just continues. And now you get the big test on Sunday Night Football, like the kind of what we thought was going to be the NFC Championship game last year. And there's the
Lindsay's got the graphic up for us.
It's unbelievable.
Nick Sirianni 10-0 against the NFC North.
I think Jalen missed one of those games. So he's 9-0, I believe, and Nick is 10-0.
Trying to think of the game.
I think it was a Vikings game.
Jalen would have missed.
I forget. Me and Bo were talking about it Sunday leaving. I think it was the Vikings, but who knows? But yeah, he's 9-0. Sirianni's 10-0.
Yeah.
And have you seen this this friendship developing with Bears fans, Eagles fans, and Bear fans?
Why? Because the Eagles are beating up on the.
So the
NFC
Bears
North?
are 3-0 versus the NFC East.
Oh.
The Eagles are now 2-0 versus the NFC North with a chance to be 3-0 on Sunday versus the Lions. So until Black Friday, when we're enemies again, our friends out at CHGO, yeah, we're handshaking here. We're friends in partnership.
I did not know that. I did see that there was some level of friendship between the two fan bases on Twitter, but my brain is so scrambled now. I didn't go investigate why that was the case.
Because we're beating up on their divisions. It's great.
Look, Jamie, when we're living in the era of Janky Rondo, I'm not investigating everything on the internet right now, but that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, Eagles are beating up on the NFC North. Hopefully they can get another win this weekend for the Bears.
Yeah, what do you did you see Dan Campbell's quotes about playing in Philly? No. He's such a football guy. He was like, "Oh, it's the nastiest place. They throw batteries at you. They curse at you. I love playing in Philadelphia."
Well, maybe when he was a player, did Dan Campbell play at the Vet?
Yeah, I think so. Wait, what was Dan Campbell's actual playing years? I think he played at the Vet, right?
Anyway, Dan Campbell took over play calling duties.
Yeah, and they're good again.
Last week. I do think Mina made a good point.
His first year was 99. So, yeah.
He probably played a couple games at the Vet.
With the Giants. So, yeah, he probably played at the Vet.
Yeah, taking over play calling duties after. So, Brian Flores pretty much embarrassed them a couple weeks ago, which, by the way, Brian Flores.
He's the boogeyman.
He's a boogeyman, not for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles this year again.
For everybody else, though.
Yeah. And Dan Campbell takes over the play calling duties. Again, You mentioned going to Jared Goff's house and
His tiny little hands,
his tiny little hands.
dropping the remote.
I don't know what the weather is going to be this weekend. If it's going to be cold, I like the Eagles' chances. Again, that was the big thing last year. We were like, they're going to have to play Detroit because Detroit just doesn't lose. They're going to have to play Detroit.
I want Jared Goff every single time. Who I would love to just see as the Eagles playoff race would be, give me the Packers and Jordan Love. We'll embarrass them. Then give me Jared Goff and his tiny little doll hands, and we'll embarrass the Lions. And then give me Sam Darnold and Seattle Seahawks, and we'll embarrass them. Those are 3 quarterbacks I just like. Sam Darnold's having a nice year. Like, let me know when he proves it on a big stage. And Jared Goff is the same thing. That NFC divisional round last year versus Washington was embarrassing. And if I was a Lions fan, I would have absolutely no confidence in the world in my team on a big stage. So give me all 3 of those overrated ass quarterbacks. Let's go.
So I think Mina is awesome, but this prevailing wisdom that, from the national NFL people, that the Rams and the Seahawks are head and shoulders above the Eagles or in a different tier. Look, I get it. I watch every Eagles game and I want to fire Nick Sirianni in the second quarter of every single one of them. I understand that from a neutral standpoint, you look at how ugly they make it look.
Sure.
The Eagles have good wins, man. You know who does not have good wins? The Seahawks. The Bucks are probably like the Eagles' 4th or 5th best win. Guess what? Would have been the Seahawks' best win. Nah, they lost to them at home. So, I understand that Mike McDonald, nice defensive mind. They got a lot of talent on that side of the ball.
Sure.
Sam Darnold is having a good year. I'm sorry. The Eagles are the team right now that you just have to, you have to give them the credit. They are the defending champs.
Yeah.
They continue to win game after game. I'm sorry, not putting them in that same tier is ridiculous.
Yeah.
They are the team that you have to respect at this point, even with how uneven they make it look. So, again, if they beat Detroit this week too, they're going to have the best resume in the NFL in terms of just the teams they beat by a mile.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just overrated quarterbacks. I mean, Sam Darnold, yeah, he's having a nice resurgence. Show me on a big stage, before everybody crowns him. Show it on a big stage. Show it in a playoff atmosphere, and it applies to Jordan Love and it applies to Jared Goff too. Yeah, you can play great regular season football, but if you get on a big stage when the season's on the line or in the playoffs and you absolutely soil your pants, your regular season means nothing to me.
I will give both of those teams, I agree with you, and I would give both those teams credit because they are playing more aesthetically pleasing football.
Sure,
than
absolutely.
the Eagles right now. I think that is
undeniable
at this point. And
the Lions offense is very good. I'm not saying it's not good, but show me when it matters.
We have talked privately how you've been underwhelmed by some of the early Sunday slates. 2 really good games, though. You got Rams, Seahawks.
That should be
leading
great.
into Eagles Lions on Sunday. That's, again, I don't know what the early slate is exactly this weekend, but for a 4:25 game leading into Sunday Night Football, that is really good. The Eagles are a part of that. So look, it'll be a fun game. I'm excited.
You want your weather report
to finally get the Lions? Yeah, let's give me the weather report.
It's not as cold as you would have hoped for on Sunday here in beautiful Philadelphia. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. High of 60 on Sunday.
Wow.
With a low of 42 and sunshine. So Doll Hands gets a fairly great football weather day.
Balmy for old Doll Hands.
Yeah. So maybe Doll Hands won't cough the ball up as much. Maybe he'll just throw the interceptions.
Anyway, I'm really excited, even though I know.
Yeah, this Lions offense is no joke. This defense is going to be tested on Sunday.
I know that at the during the second quarter, I'm probably going to want to fire somebody or whatever, and Nick Sirianni is going to be sitting at the podium after this game with another victory. I believe he's second all time in wins now, win percentage among coaches who have coached a couple seasons.
Unbelievable.
I think he's ahead of John Madden now. It's just
it's unbelievable. And Peter says in the chat, Bills Bucks should be a good one too on Sunday.
I don't know what's going on with the Bills.
The Bucks, both teams kind of have broken the last 3 weeks.
The Bucks make sense to me. I thought they were playing a little bit over their heads,
right.
and obviously, Baker and that offense, they can get chunk plays. That seems like a little bit of a flawed team. Their defense. What is going on with Buffalo? Is they look like world beaters one week, and then they are a disaster. So again, and that's the thing with the Eagles. The Eagles really don't have as many of those weeks.
No,
they make it look ugly, and yes, it's a little bit disjointed and all those things. But at the end of the day, they end up winning the game, and yeah, that's a big deal.
And Joe Rockhead's right. Only 37 likes in here, over 200 people watching. Come on, people. What, do you not like us? You're hanging out with us. Just hit that little thumbs up button right there on the page. Help us
Well,
out.
James, we are about to wrap up, so we do ask you guys, can you please shoot us a few likes as you were leaving today?
So what's your initial gut say? Like, winner of Sunday's game? You liking where the Birds are positioned? Because this is...
They win every week, man.
I know. But this offense is good.
Yeah, the defense
And you're
is
going to
not as
need
good,
to
though.
score some points on Sunday. I have faith that the Eagles defense will keep the Lions in check. The question is, does the Eagles offense put up enough points to topple the Lions?
I think they will. I am so excited to watch the Eagles defense against that Lions offense. That is good against good. And look, we said this a lot last year. Like, I remember that Bengals game earlier in the season, some of the Ravens matchup at the end of the year. Like, I wonder if it's a game where the Lions get hot early in the game, maybe their first couple drives, they have 7 points, 10 points, whatever it is, a couple good drives. But then Vic gets a beat on them, and then the rest of the game, the Eagles sort of wear them down. Now, I will say the difference between this year and last year is that part of the calculus with the Eagles wearing teams down last year is Vic getting a beat on them and the defense taking away what they're good at. But also the Eagles were pounding the rock at an amazing level last year. And that hasn't really happened at a consistent level. Now, hopefully against this Lions run defense, they are able to do that, but we'll see. I think they're gonna win.
Yeah, I kind of...
Did you see I think they're only like 1.5 point favorites too.
I have not actually checked the line out. I actually have to submit my Bet365 PHLY same game parlay. So
is that still the case?
let's take a look. A little gander here. The Eagles currently -2.5 on Bet365.
I think that's gone up a little bit. By the way, I'm just gonna say
Which is...
the disrespect. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Eagles should not be favored by less than 3 against anybody at home.
You're right. I mean, it's not aesthetically pleasing.
They were underdogs last week, and I thought they played a disjointed game in a lot of ways. And guess what? They won the game.
Yeah, I'm with you. They just find a way to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, being an underdog at home, I know they're favored, but like being a half-point underdog in the eyes of a neutral site, it feels off. Like, at worst, this should just be -3.
What a great moment in Eagles fandom where people are complaining about every single win. Some ways being justified, I would say, because I am also one of those people, but also being, looking down when the Eagles don't get the respect nationally that they deserve. Hey, that's Philadelphia for you. Okay, we will be with you guys.
And real quick, everybody sign up for Rich's newsletter.
Oh, yeah.
Do it. Come on, just sign up for the newsletter. It's
Please.
awesome. It's free.
It's free.
Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a buddy from college. If you like Philadelphia sports, boom, it's free. It's in your inbox every single morning. What time does it go out? 7:30? 8 a.m.?
7:30.
7:30. Boom. You get a cup of coffee, you're riding the train in, you get to your cubicle, you don't want to work. It's a great time killer. It got all the information you missed. It's got all the links. It's perfect. So just read it, sign up for it. Go to our account, you'll see it. Go to Rich's account, you'll see it. There's the website right there. Just do it. Do Rich a favor. He's a nice guy. He doesn't ask for much.
I don't ask for much, and it's free, guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's free.
It's free. It won't cost you nothing.
We had an abridged history of Devontae Smith mossing dudes in today's
I love that.
newsletter as well. So yeah, we get a little bit creative. The Pat Surtain one a couple years ago, that in his rookie year, that might be my favorite one.
He's so good.
Yeah.
Remember the conversation we had a couple weeks ago? I think Devontae has moved into #1.
Yeah, because he's like, not only is he this technician as a route runner, he also makes these insane contested catches in a way that somebody with his body should not be able
That
to.
3rd and 12 play, he was open by like 4 yards.
It's the best of both worlds. Like he's just breaking dudes' ankles on routes. But then also when it's a deep ball, he's just jumping over these guys and embarrassing them. It's absolutely wild. Devontae Smith is the man.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. Okay, James, I think that's enough for today's show. I think we covered a lot of ground with
Yeah.
a retirement.
Thanks to
with
Mina Kimes.
with some AJ.
Yeah, thank you to
drama.
EJ Smith sitting in with us. That was a lot of fun. I rarely get to be in studio with EJ. He's always remote.
EJ's the best. No red microphone for him today. Normal microphone for him today. Great job. And Lindsay has the upcoming schedule. We have a Sixer show going on right now. We have the Cheap Seats guys who also talk about the Eagles, and Connor McDavid in town tonight. So
he's a bucket list athlete.
Unbelievable. I covered a game his rookie year. I've never seen somebody skate so fast. It's absolutely
And he's
wild.
huge.
Yeah.
By the way, Gratuitous D says, Smitty, Did you catch it? I always call him Devontae. Everybody in that locker room calls him Smitty because AJ Brown had to correct himself the other day. The media was like, what about, Devontae? And then he repeated Devontae, and he's like, wait. You got me calling him Devontae. He was like, it's Smitty.
I did see that.
So are we allowed to call him Smitty?
Well, I mean, it's
I'm a
very,
Devontae guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Big J journalist of us to
Yeah.
call him Devontae by his name. I call him Smitty sometimes in the newsletter as well.
All right.
Yeah, that was a funny clip.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Of AJ.
See, AJ, just keep to the funny stuff. Stay off the Madden streams.
Okay, so I think on the Eagle show, I assume we're gonna have Fran, EJ, and Bo in here tomorrow on the short week. We got Swooper this week as well, and then Daniz will be in on Friday as well. And then, guys, we got a big Sunday night football matchup. I'm excited. Jamie's excited. We are all excited. But I think that will do it for us today on the Wednesday show. Thank you to always for Lindsay for helping us out and handling all of the moving pieces. It was a difficult one today with the late breaking news. And to close the show, as always, I will say, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.